What's up, Ginger Bros listeners? This is Noah from Dentops. Brandon and Andy will be back in a minute with another awesome show. But in the meantime, I want to tell you about our new Dentops community for retail PDR and hail repair business owners and operators. It's a totally free Facebook group where you can mastermind with other PDR folks, ask questions, and share knowledge about growing your PDR business. Within the Dentops community, we regularly post content and host live streams about important topics that will help accelerate your PDR business, like marketing and sales, estimating, customer experience, team and contractor management, and a whole lot of other things that will help grow your PDR business. I would love for you to join the conversation. You can jump in or learn more at dentops.com/ginger. Check it out now, and I hope to see you on the inside.
I was waiting on you this time.
I know. I'll
let him do it.
What's up, everybody?
What's happening?
So, yeah, we always jump on top of each other doing that.
Yeah.
We already got some. We had several more.
Josh, we got Jeremy on. Jeremy must have got a deer early or something. He's out of the woods early.
Yeah, it's dark.
TM, what's up, brother? How you doing, Mr. Bernard? He's still working, but we're gonna get him through it.
Mr. Eric on here.
What up, Eric? Mark. Hey, that Camry looked freaking amazing. You're going to enjoy this show, too, so just a heads up. Adam, what's up? You should be on the show, Mark, but you're kind of being a wuss.
What's up, Jeremy?
Oh, Jeremy. He said, I wish.
Two Jeremys.
Yeah. That's not confusing.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, it's our last week sponsored by DenOps. And so y'all go check them out. Please sign up for that because it has helped us. And we've talked about it every week. If you want to make more money, on your job, especially hell jobs, stuff like that. Even with me, like I explained last week, what is that? Got something special for y'all at MT.
Uh-oh, what you got?
I bet you do, big boy. I bet you do.
Body slam somebody.
Oh man. But yeah, they look, it works. And
I sent one in Monday. I think it was around $2,100. Came back $2,900 just like that.
Yeah.
Just stuff you don't think to add. And I mean, it's legit.
So for $140, you just gain more money. And
if you sweet talk the insurance company, you ain't got to pay that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So
you can work it in somehow, but either way, guys, use them unless you're just completely running a storm and that's all you do and have CCC. Go to DenOps.
And I'm excited for the future of that. Like Noah's a young, bright guy, and they're going to be coming out with a lot of stuff. You guys stay tuned because I'm excited for the future of DenOps. Like it's not, it's going to go beyond what they're doing right now. So it's exciting.
Yep. I'm excited too. But
yes, sir.
I'm excited for him to be at MTE and we get to hang out with him and stuff.
Yeah, so. I told him I'd give him a big old hug.
Since he won't come to your meetup.
What up, Jackie B? Yeah, he's got a wedding.
Yeah.
Somebody said like Tim and Bonnie was talking about, just go to the next one.
Yeah, just tell the couple you'll go to their next wedding.
Right.
But anyway, got a great show tonight, guys. So a good friend of mine that he owns a detailing and storage boat and RV storage business right down from us. I use them a lot. I send a lot of people over there. We're going to talk about his business. He owns Detail Bookie, which is like our Mobile Tech RX, but big for the detailing industry. And I'm talking about awesome.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because I haven't heard of it, and I kind of want to get some intel on that.
And I don't know if y'all remember last year at MTE or this year at MTE, this past one, but if you saw the detailing booth at the end of the wall that had the screen that's the size of Texas, that's Detail Bookie. So, but we'll get on to that. But what I love and I really want to talk about, and we'll pull him on here in just a minute, is, everybody knows that I've been doing the 75 Hard Challenge. I'm on day 70 of 75 today. I'm excited. I'm almost there. Dustin did it, and it led him into this Ironman journey. So, for almost a year now, he's been training for this, and he just became an Ironman this last weekend. So I really wanted to pull him on, get his whole story on this. And of course, we'll dive into the business part of it first and stuff. But anyway, want to bring him on. So Mr. Dustin Jackson, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. I know you're recovering. You're still recovering, even since Saturday. That's, to me, I'd be recovering for 6 months after that thing.
Well, I may be. The jury's still out because I'm pretty dead. Overall, like muscle soreness and all that, probably back about 90%, but just fatigue.
I couldn't imagine.
So it's yet to be determined the length of recovery here.
I just want to say, Josh said he heard you on a detail podcast. Like, Josh, is there not a podcast that you don't listen to? Like, Josh is on it, man. We're trying to gather his information. I love it.
Yeah, there's no telling. I've been on quite a few of them, and so there's no telling where you hear me.
You've been on them, and you have your own. So
yeah.
When y'all's is what, Thursdays or
on Fridays? Fridays at lunchtime. We run it every Friday live on our Detail Bookie Facebook page. It's called Play by Play, and we just basically what you guys do for the PDR industry, we do for the detail industry.
Just a little bit better though.
Oh no, man! Look, it's all
professional.
Look, I'm looking y'all up right now, so I'm following you right now, so I'll make sure to tune in because I want to check out y'all show too.
Yeah, check it out, man. Check it out.
Definitely do that. Check out Easy In Detailing on Facebook and that, because is it through that you do the videos, like the local businesses?
Yeah, so that's our shop talk. That's what you refer to, and we do that every other week, and we highlight a local business. And it's fun, man. We make it fun. We always do a teaser that's like it's like the best way I know to describe is like dad humor, like the dad jokes, and it's goofy, and we do a little teaser with it, and then we always go into the show that we are that we're like interviewing that business and learning about them. We make the show about them, and then always at the very end we kind of plug Easy In Detail. So no matter what we're whatever kind of business we're interviewing, we like, if you have porta potties, we can detail them at Easy In. That's the only time.
And that was a funny one there. That one right there was pretty funny. And then the outtakes, seeing that part of it too, it's hilarious. I love how you've always you've supported so many local businesses. I know. Mandy's watched it.
Well, that must be rough on the shop back sucking some turds out.
You gotta watch the video, man. It's hilarious.
I'll check it out.
Yeah,
it is. So let's kind of get a background of how you got started in this. I know you've got your hands in a lot of different things, including we've got a guy down here that I do stuff with that has the biggest car show on the Gulf, on the whole coast, and now you've got the biggest boat show down here pretty much. At the Battleship and stuff too. So just kind of explain how you got into the detailing part of it. And
absolutely. I'm Dustin Jackson. I own Easy In, which is a detail business, but we're also a storage facility. Like you mentioned, we have boats and RV. It's outside. We have covered storage and uncovered. And we also own a retail store where we sell apparel. And got into the business about 9 years ago, I guess. And I think it may have been 10 now. And I had sold off another company and was wanting to do something. I had a home office that I was wanting to get out of, built me a little office in this 1 acre lot and just started storage. And I wanted to make it like this VIP storage thing where we would detail the things that were there as the people used them. Well, it really took off a lot better than I thought it was going to. I just thought it was just going to be this little thing I did and, whatnot. And it absolutely grew, put us in the opportunity to buy 6.5 acres in our local community where we do a very large detail operation now. And also, and then that tied us in. You mentioned Detail Bookie, which is the software company that I own. And I built that software to manage the detailing business. It grew so much that I needed something to manage that business. And so built the software to run it, and then took that software to market once I realized, hey, this is really good, and it it did its job. So, and there's some other stuff. You mentioned the boat show, of course. We do the boat show every year, and I did it because out of necessity. I mean, when COVID shut down Mobile Boat Show, and we were a big participant in that show, I wasn't willing to just wave the white flag, man. And so I started an outdoor boat show there at the Battleship Park, and it went wonderful. We didn't know what we were doing, but we figured it out.
What better place to do a boat show than to buy the big ass battleship too? It's genius.
And of course, Andy knows where the battleship is, so he knows how big that area is. And,
I rent the whole place. And literally we use the hangar. They moved the Blackbird out, and we do our dinner there Thursday night, and we use the lawn for vendors and boats, and it's really cool. It's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
it's definitely pretty cool though. Yeah, I love it. But I remember, because let's see, when was it? It was about 4 years ago or so when you first got to where you're at now, the property there, and it was slow for me. It was kind of slow for you, and I'm like, you'd have people asking about me, and so I'm like, look, I'll come out there like every Thursday of December.
Yep.
And it rained for like 2 of them Thursdays. I did a couple of jobs, but it built a relationship, and it was just you and 2 other guys.
Yep.
And that's all it was, detailing. And now you've grown to, how many employees y'all have now?
That's 36.
Oh, wow.
36, yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, 36 too many. No, I'm just kidding. I have an awesome team. I'm
awesome.
And I don't think you do it anymore, but at one point, when you grew and grew, you had 2 crews going to like shipyards and boat yards. Y'all were ceramic coating boats, everything on it, detailing this stuff. Y'all were really the first ones in our whole area that really put ceramic coating on the map for down here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I remember you building. You had an upholstery guy at the place, and he made special pads and that custom made. Yeah. Yep. And I'm like, dude, it's.
Awesome.
Put it on the map for down here, and then of course everybody else started kind of following along with the ceramic coating stuff. But anybody that I know. Yeah, I send a lot of people y'all's way. Y'all send a lot of people my way. Yep. We're both involved with toy drives, helping out Cops for Kids here. I love that. So, we got a little background. Y'all go check out, of course, Easy In and Detail Bookie. Yeah. Especially any of you that are, I know like Mark Hunter is, he's watching, he's commenting, he's a detailer. We're trying to get him on.
And Tom Poland, he was on. He's got an auto spa with some detailing.
So y'all go check out, especially Detail Bookie, and check that out.
I just gotta say real quick, I think it's genius to having the storage facility where you do, you coat people's stuff while you're there. They're there. That's pretty genius.
Well, and I'll tell you, so that just since you brought that up, like the business model was just that. Like I said, it was like this. I thought this VIP storage where these customers would use us, and like you would come in from using your boat all day, drop it off, we would wash it, put it up, boom, be done. And I thought that would consist of the majority of my detailing business. I wasn't looking to grow this massive detailing business. But in reality, the storage customers don't use us that much. They literally just come drop their stuff off. They don't care. They use it a couple times a year, and that's it. Some of the boats do, but the campers and all, it's so much fewer than you would think. So I thought the same thing. I thought it was genius too. And if I would have relied on that, to work out, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
But what's even more genius is the property he bought was a Ford lumber place. So all the shelving and stuff for the outside lumber,
nice.
when they first bought it, created perfect
storage. For storage. And it's funny. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I've watched it grow out there over the years and expand and stuff, and it's amazing, man.
Yeah, we were able to take that still that we It's funny. I was telling the story the other day, and we were able to when I bought the property there, I demoed the still out for all the racks. And I stacked it out back, and every time I add on to my shop, I go out to my steel pile back there, and I find out what beams I have, and then that's how I add on to my shop. And I use this. I mean, you just do what you got to do, and I built a really nice shop. Yeah, so it's cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, let's kind of get into the main reason I wanted you on, and that's you created I'll let you talk about how it got started, but you created this Facebook page called My Ironman Journey.
Yep.
And you've got so many people that followed it, and you've been such an inspiration and motivated so many people. My motivation came from several people in our industry who had done 75 hard challenge. And then you started that page and all that. And I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to do this. But then watching your journey and following along, it's amazing. So I wanted you to, kind of tell your story of it and, finish off with, you're an Ironman.
I am. Matter of fact, I couldn't help, but I was going to put it on, but there's my medal. Like I had to rep it out, and it's solid too, baby.
That's awesome.
No, but seriously, and I'm happy. I love to tell the story because it's a heck of a story. But I wanted to say first of all, congratulations on being on day 70 on your first pass, and I was able to knock mine out first pass, but that's not normal. And they tell you like it's usually it takes a couple runs at it to get it because some things just it just comes up and you don't finish. So congratulations, dude. You're in overdrive now. Just nothing can stop this now, man. Nothing can stop this.
No. These last few days, I'm like, I'm dead set. Like right before this, I went ahead and did my
do it early.
Workout.
Yeah. Go ahead, take
all
the
I have
picture.
left to do is I took my pictures this morning.
There you go.
I tried, if I can take it in the morning, that's when overnight you lose that belly. From what you've been eating. And you get up, I do my walk in the morning, I come back, and my youngest one, that's who's taking my picture and stuff, she's like, I'm like, it's your turn to do the picture. She's like, oh, click.
I'm going to put it to you like this. We'll get to how I got to mile 24, but this is where you're at is mile 24 in the marathon at the very end of the Ironman, and everything in my body was hurting, but there was absolutely nothing that would have stopped me. Like you could put a freight train in front of me and I'd pushed it to the end. And that's where you're at day 70. So dude, you got this. You just keep rocking. You did. Yeah. But so listen, starting this thing off, I mean, I did 75 hard. And it's life-changing. I tell anybody that will listen, if you're struggling with anything, if you plateaued, if you want that extra little push, try that out. But that started about 2 years ago. I did 75 hard, and I did that. I loved it. I enjoyed it, but I kind of fell right back into some of the habits that I had before: bad eating, drinking beer, not all the time, but just habits that I was wanting to shake at times. Things that I felt like kind of held me back. So I was on vacation last July, sitting with a buddy of mine around a table, drinking beer. And I'm like, dude, I want to do something different. I want to do something big. And he's like, man, you should try a triathlon. And I was like, okay, I don't even know. I knew what a triathlon was, but never paid much attention to them. He's like, they got this short one in Fairhope. He said, I did it a few years ago. It's awesome. And I'm like, pull it up. Let's look at it. So we looked at it. And it was called a triathlon sprint, and I literally signed up that night for it. Okay, I didn't run. I didn't even have a bike. And the only swimming I did was to my boat to get a beer. Like that's the only. And so I signed up for it. It's a little short one. Well, so I started training for it like when I got back from vacation, and I realized pretty quick that like it was like a 400-yard swim, an 18-mile bike ride, and a 3-mile run. It's a triathlon sprint. It's real short. And I'm training for it, and I'm like, dude, I'm covering these distances in my trainings. It's very easy to me. This isn't what I was talking about. I was talking about something big. So obviously I started looking at Ironman, and I'm like, okay, like I start researching and I'm looking into it. What is it going to take to get this thing done? I talked to another buddy of mine, and finally pulled the trigger on it in January that I said I would do the Ironman. So I'd trained for like 3 or 4 months for the triathlon sprint, and then committed to the Ironman in January. And when I did, that's when I created that group that you're referring to.
Yeah. And
I created the group out for accountability, number one. But then number two, I also created the group because I knew that during this journey, it was going to be some really good footage, and it was a good opportunity for I own a marketing company, and in the marketing company, we have a production staff, and it was going to be a good opportunity for them to show off their skills. And so I thought, okay, this would be a great place for them to do that and use this platform to kind of push their skills and show their stuff. And so that's what I did, but I didn't expect what happened. At all, really. So I start training, and I'm just making posts every day into it. Like, here's what I did. And the training was big. I mean, every single day I was waking up. I wake up early anyway, but get up at 4:15. I would do a 2-hour workout in the mornings, which would consist of, it depends on which day it was, but street training, swim, or a run. Then I would go to work at 6:30, run our businesses. Sometimes at lunch, I would go for another swim. And then at 4:30 p.m., I would get off work and I would go train for another 2 to 3 hours. And so that was Monday through Friday. And then Saturday was our long training, as if that wasn't long enough. Saturdays was like our 8 to 10 hours to cover the distance. But within that, there was a ton of footage, and these guys were able to post some videos, and they wanted to capture the journey. But what happened on this thing was the momentum that I was creating for myself, and everybody started watching, and I can tell you it's probably at least 100 people that have messaged or text and that have said, okay, I'm doing this thing now because I saw you doing that. And it's quite unbelievable. So, a lot of positive has come out of it for sure.
Yeah. And if any, all y'all watching and stuff, y'all can, it's called My Ironman Journey on Facebook page. Y'all go like it. Look back at the video, because looking at the video that your team and all that, how they do, I mean, videoing you running, bike riding, even overhead, stuff like that. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, you've got a great marketing team, have had one for years now. Yeah. And, but they really showed their skills.
They really did. And the commitment to them. So, I mean, they're up at that time. So, okay, just for instance, the Ironman itself, they left Mobile at 1:30 in the morning to drive down to make sure they caught me. Two or three of the four did. And then to make sure that they got to the transition where I would be setting up on time. And that they did that all the time. They were up with me. They were at my, house at 3:30 in the morning to catch me leaving, coming out the door, or to catch me getting up to make a protein shake or whatever it was at that time. And so their commitment to this thing was as much as I was committed, they were committed. And it takes that, and we talk about 75 hard and the challenges of that. We all face adversity. I faced adversity through this thing. Those times that you just, you think it's a very lonely place. And I know you've probably felt this when you're walking for 45 minutes or running or working out, and there's other things you should be doing, like family time, like, work or answering a phone call, and you're riding a bike for 3 hours or 4 hours or 5, or you're swimming. Like, it's a guilt. You start to feel guilty and a bit selfish, because now I'm doing these things that's taking me away from the things that really matter in life. And so you got to face that, and you have to make sure that you don't neglect those things too much, so you don't get it shifted one way or the other. You kind of have to, as unbalanced as it is, you still got to kind of have some balance.
Yeah.
Let's explain to everybody real quick exactly what all entails an Ironman. Like, I'm sure most people know, but let's get some detail on the Ironman.
Yeah,
I don't really know. I still don't know exactly. Okay. So.
Yeah, so the swim it's a 2.4 mile swim, 4,224 yards. In the Gulf. You swim around Panama City Pier. You swim out past it about another 600 yards, and then down parallel with the beach 400, then back, and you do that twice. And by the way, if anybody has never swam any kind of distance, by far the hardest thing. Like, by far. Like, you think you running a marathon's hard? Mm-mm. Go swim 2 miles.
And you're not swimming on like a flat lake or nothing. Like, you're swimming the Gulf. Like, you're fighting.
jellyfish, and like there's a whole conversation there because like my trainings in open water, I had alligator encounter, I had jellyfish encounter, stingrays. No, I mean, so this is the real, like I had huge anxiety about open water swim, and I set myself up for the worst. I'm like, dude, and so and even at the Ironman, like, so I did a triathlon, Olympic sized triathlon in the middle of it. And we've swam through pods of jellyfish. I mean, so it's real. You're out in the Gulf. You're literally swimming in the water, the waves. You're subject to whatever the current is. It doesn't matter. So 2.4 mile swim. You get out of the water. You finish those 2 laps. You get out of the water. You strip your wetsuit off. You run to transition to put your bike shoes on, helmet on, tri-suit on, jump on the bike, and you go bike 112 miles. So bike 112 miles, takes 6 to 7 hours to do that. And then you get off the bike, you go back through transition, you put your running shoes on, you put a running belt on so you can carry whatever you might need because you're out there.
Right.
And then you go run 26.2. You finish with a marathon with 26.2 miles. And there's no headphones. It's such a large course that everybody gets separated. So it's not like you're running in groups that you can communicate with. You're really disconnected with everybody, and you're running your own race in your own head for what took me 15 hours actually it's a little over 14 hours. So and nonstop. Yeah.
Goodness.
I can't even watch TV 14 hours nonstop. Like,
what's that?
I said I can't even watch TV 14 hours nonstop.
I bet you could play PlayStation 14 hours.
No, I'm good for about 2 hours, and I get stressed out. And
so why don't they allow earphones and stuff like that?
They say it's safety, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they do it to add to the challenge because there are other groups that host triathlons that are the same distance that allow it. And it would, it just, I think it adds to, let me tell you, it added to the challenge for me because at one point, dude, I rode up beside somebody on a bike and I said, please tell me you have some problems that I can think about. Cause I thought about all mine as much as I could think about it.
Absolutely.
Give them to me.
That's just got to be part of that mental thing, not letting you do that, to have to be you by yourself with one more battle to fight.
It feels like torture for somebody that likes to communicate like me. I mean, I'm a social person. I like interaction. It made it tough. It made it really tough.
You get all them doubtful feelings in your mind.
Yeah.
So with this whole training and all that, you pretty much, you had to stick to a strict diet, probably no alcohol and stuff again, how was that to you? Like,
sure.
How was going? And I know, like me, I love food. I love my beer. I love all that.
Yep.
I know how it was with me to just cut that out. But I know with the 75 challenge, I'm like, I can do this. I can. And like I told everybody, I mean, I just bought a case of Coors Light. And when I put it in my mini fridge out on the porch, I probably had a half a case left in there and a couple of other better beers in there.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, I decide September 1st, I'm starting this.
Yep.
And I do it, and I go out there and I poured every single one of them out.
He didn't even give it to a friend. He says,
you know what I did is I left mine in my refrigerator, and I had to stare at them son of bitches every day, every morning. I was like, "What is this?
Why am I beating myself up?"
I'm like, "What's wrong? Is this dip's not enough? I'm just torturing myself."
Right.
But listen, here's the best way, and I found the value in the self-discipline. I found the reward was in the doing it when you didn't feel like it, doing it with not drinking the beer when you absolutely wanted it was the reward. And I did a little live video, and I said, we reward ourselves a lot with the things that are the worst for us. So fried food, candy. I'm candy, I'm a candy fanatic, but we know these things are bad for us and they make us feel bad at times. So like we should change our reward to the thing that helps us the most. And it works if you, once you start it, once you make the decision, once you honor the self-discipline and you get past that initial second that you have to make it, the reward is there.
Jack couldn't give up his beer. I know that.
Yeah.
And Matt asked what your calorie intake like during training.
A lot. It was a lot. We were eating. I was on a like protein and veggies. We didn't eat hardly any carbs, and everybody freaked out about the carb thing. They're like, you got to have carbs. You got to have carbs. But we were really trying to thin out, cut down. We carb loaded before the Ironman, so we had the energy there. But I was eating a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables, healthy fats, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when I ate, I would go to lunch and order 2 lunches a lot. Like 2 chicken breasts. I'd go to Baumhauer's. We get wild rice and stuff like that. Broccoli, ate a ton of broccoli, asparagus. I was able to eat a ton of red meat. One good thing, my breakfast every morning was bacon and eggs. Okay. And that sounds great, right? Okay. That sounded really good. And I had the same response, like perfect, until you eat it about 46 days in a row.
Oh,
and
I can imagine.
I would rather look at anything than bacon and eggs. I'm like, I loved bacon and eggs until this shit. Now I hate it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's like me. I wake up, I do a protein shake in the morning, and then 10 o'clock I do a loaded oatmeal.
Yep.
And then 2 o'clock, chicken and vegetables or some protein.
Yeah.
And then, I try, I can have like a protein bar in between at 10 and 2. Mm-hmm. And then like I try to 5 or 6 o'clock eat my my last meal. Mm-hmm. And, the only thing I'll have at night is yogurt. I started doing the non-fat.
Like a fasting. Yep.
Well, that and it helps cleanse.
Oh, yeah.
But cutting out like the beer and everything. And once my body got used to how I was eating better and all that, I didn't realize. I knew I was bloated all the time.
Yes. Yep.
But I didn't realize how much I was until, I know it was all the beer I was drinking.
Yeah.
That should have bloated you quick.
Gosh.
It's the sodium in it. And, it just, and I had bad indigestion, heartburn and all. And so once I cut all the trash out of my diet, the fried food, it pretty much went away. Every now and then I get just a little hint of it. And, but it's been, it was good. But yeah, same thing. We were eating. I could eat as much as I wanted because we were burning calories, like, insane numbers. Well, they're on the 19th.
Yeah, I'm having a tech meet. That's when I'm having a tech meet up here. So yeah, everybody be drinking beer and stuff.
And I'll be done, so I'll be able to finally have a beer.
Hey,
speaking of that, touch on that real quick. We got we've decided to do BYOB just because everybody likes so many different kinds of beers. Yeah. So y'all bring what you want to drink. Like we was gonna get a keg, but I was afraid nobody drinking. I don't drink anymore, so the keg would be sitting here wasted. So I say BYOB is the way.
No, it wouldn't be wasted. Somebody would drink that. So.
Yeah, you just never know what you're gonna get. So I was like, we'll just have everybody drink this stuff. But sorry about that. I had to throw that out there real quick.
No.
So I know you had one injury at least. Mm-hmm. Was your thigh or what?
Yeah. So 3 weeks out of the Ironman was our peak training, and we were to do 90% of the Ironman in a day, which consisted of a 2-mile swim, a 100-mile bike, and a 24-mile or 22-mile run. And this was all to be done back to back, but I could take a little more time in transition. I could eat. It just had to be done in a day ish.
Yeah.
So I hit the swim, knocked the swim out. That was the stingray incident. I did it out in Navarre Beach. Big stingray swam up on and freaked me the hell out. And I'm not, dude. I don't even like the people that swim like to go see shit like that are on a different level. I don't want to see nothing like that.
Did it make you faster? You start swerving
Absolutely.
away from
No,
it?
you freaking panic. You panic is what you do, and you get the fuck out of there quickly. And so that was that. But I ended up biking, and during the bike ride, it was dead into a headwind. And anybody that's rode a bike, if you haven't rode a bike, headwind is brutal on you, man. It feels like you're going nowhere. It feels like you got the brakes on the bike. So ended up doing what we think was like a micro tear in my quad. It's bruised up, swelled up. I mean, it was on fire. I finished the 100 miles. I ended up running 4 of the 20 that I was supposed to run. And I was like, yeah, something's wrong and I'm not going to push it. And so then we had to go to work because I think I was 2 or 3 weeks out. And so we had to go to work to heal this thing quickly. And so we threw the book at it, man. I did this laser treatments. I did red light therapy, heavy on it. I did cold compress, and ended up doing some peptides, that my trainer had gotten me to heal that muscle quickly. And so it worked. It survived. And then, I had surgery on my foot in December. This was right before I committed to Ironman. So I did this on a reworked foot. Yeah, on a reworked foot and a 38-year-old body that's not been taken care of very much.
What was wrong with your foot?
So I actually had bone spurs on top of my bone on my big toe that was on each side. So they cut my toe open and they sawed the bones. And then and it was brutal. And I said it like that because the doctor that did it, I was like my third doctor, and he's like, oh man, he's like, this is nothing. We'll just cut it open and take care of this and you'll be back going. And when I woke up from surgery, I felt like they cut my foot off. And I'm like, oh my God, something's wrong. And so the recovery was like way worse than he ever imagined. And it still hurts to this day. So when I ran, when I was running on a recovered foot that's just not 100%. So, but just with anything, and that's what I go back to is like, these are all like the jellyfish, the wind, the surgery, all these things are in place to give you an excuse to not do it. Yeah. And this sounds so cliche, but it's the truth. And when you're in business, a lot of these guys own businesses, and I'm sure they're watching this, like every day there's a reason that you could easily just say, you know what, screw this, I'm out. But we don't do that. We keep going and we figure out a way to fix the problem or solve the problem or whatever. And it's no different. When I set my goal to go run an Ironman, when I said I would run the Ironman, there was anybody that knows me knew that there's nothing that would have stopped me from running that Ironman. And that's why I did it.
James, that sounds about right, James.
I had a few of those triathlons after the Ironman.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, just shut the button. Just shut the doors. I got all this.
Dude, we ordered pizzas, and I took a whole box of pizza and set it beside me, and a Dr. Pepper because I hadn't had one of those in a while, and I'm like iced down my knees, and I'm just pounding pizza like
And then you fall asleep.
Yeah.
And somebody took the photos, so that's
Oh yeah. There's
post them.
There's not a moment missed.
So how long did it take you to finish the Ironman?
Yeah, so it's 14 hours and 45 minutes, I believe, something around that. My goal was 13 hours. I want to be real with you guys. When I nailed the swim. The swim, I was spot on. It was an hour and 35-minute swim. Jumped on the bike. I was supposed to do the bike in 6 hours, ended up doing it in 7, but we didn't calculate the aid station. So every 18 mile, they have an aid station that you could refill your water and you could grab like a banana. You don't get off the bike or nothing, but you could stop for a second.
Yeah.
And so we didn't calculate those stops, and that was, 30, 40 minutes overall. So we hit the run, and I'm like, man, all I got to do is stretch out 11-minute miles through this marathon, and I've got my time, which is a slow pace for me. I was pacing, high 8s, low 9s all the time in my miles. But when I hit the ground and I put my running shoes on, I had a bad blister on my left foot. My left knee was like already swelling up. My right hip was in bad shape. And, I ran the first 2 miles, and it was like my body shut down. It absolutely shut down. And so the next 24 miles were like living hell.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I did finish in 14 hours and 45 minutes, but I can tell you that run was, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. It was to keep going and to push through it and just do it was the absolute hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, you talk about willpower. You're like, you got some serious willpower pushing through that to get it done. Like, Jesus Christ.
A funny story though, real quick, is when I hit the swim, like, so I have all these people down from Birmingham, like my family, I have friends, they're all piled on the beach. And I hit the swim and I go about 100 yards and my goggles fog up completely black. Like I can't see anything. So I keep swimming and I'm looking. So when you breathe, you lean like one way, and I could barely see the color of swim caps. And I'm like, okay, so I know I'm in the right place. Well, I swim a little bit more and I'm like, in the Ironman, if you raise your hand while you're swimming, somebody on a paddleboard will come to you and assist you. You can hold your paddleboard, you just can't advance, and you can clean your goggles off or something if you need to, or keep yourself from drowning. You can't touch. I mean, it's all, as soon as you start, you're in 15, 20 feet of water, as you go out. And I raise my hand, nobody shows up. So I put my head back down. I swim another 50 yards, raise my hand again because I can't see anything. I don't even know if I'm going in the right direction. Oh, nobody shows up. And so I'm like, I put my head down again. I'm like, what if I were to quit this race? And like 10 minutes in, if I quit this race now, and I've got all these people and cameras and this Facebook group, I'm like,
that would be terrible.
I'm like, yeah, how awful. So
I fooled you, assholes.
Let's go drink some beer. No, so and listen, I got to say this part because this is the truth. I literally put my head down and I prayed that my goggles would clear up. And I'm not kidding you. When I made it out to the turn, I was using the neon green swim caps. I got one right here. This is what everybody was wearing. And I could sight and I could see the color green. And I knew that I was at least close enough to be going in the right direction. And I swam to the first turn. And then they cleared up and they never fogged again. I never took them off. I never changed anything. I'm telling you. And I prayed a lot during this thing, by the way, just for the strength. And it really paid off. I did want to say that. So,
dude, an hour and a half swimming, like just that alone, I'm like, no, dog, like I'm good. I won't even sit in the water for an hour and a
half. When I started training, I swam 25 yards and thought I was going to die. Like,
absolutely.
I need you got to understand really how hard the swim is to really grasp what swimming 2 miles should feel like. Go swim across the pool and figure doing that about, I don't know, 20,000 times, and that's
absolutely.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
You think you can do it,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's like, a couple of weeks ago, it was one afternoon. Like I didn't get my walk in that morning. I had to be at work real early. And so I was like, I'm going into work. I'll do my indoor workout and then I'll do my walk this afternoon. So I got home and stretched and went for the walk. And I've got it mapped out in my neighborhood how I do it. And so I got to my second turn, which is only probably 1/8 of a mile, and a stop sign. And I was on a fast pace, and I'm like, you know what? Changed my music real quick, and I put it in the little like spandex part, it holds it up against your leg. And I said, I'm running. I haven't ran and I can't tell you how long. So I run, and I thought I was like at a decent pace, but then the heavy, your chest starts, you're like,
yep.
So I stop and I start walking. I'm walking downhill, and then Mandy and the kids, they had gone to get something to eat, and they could pull up and they're going, "Whoa, Daddy!" I'm like, "What are these idiots coming up?"
Hi, the tiger.
Yeah. Then they take off. So I walked just a little bit further, and I was fine breathing. I'm like, I'm gonna run again. So I started running again, and made it a little bit further than last time, but same thing. It's like I'm not controlling my breathing.
Yep.
Somehow. So I stop. I stop running, start walking again, and in the back corner back there, the neighborhood, I do 2 laps around this new section. And that's where I pray every morning. So I turn my music off. I do my praying when I'm there. Well, I make it around the first little lap, and it's only about 1/8 of a mile. And so I quit, or I'm done praying. I put my music back on. I'm like, you know what? Start running again. And so I started at a little bit slower pace and started trying to focus on my breathing. And so I made it around that. And I come down. I'm like, if I can make it up to the stop sign up here, because then it's this steep hill I have to go up. I was like, if I make it to that, I'm doing good. I get to that. I'm like, keep going. So I ran up. I was going to run to the next stop sign. Kept going. I was like, I'm going to run to the next one. I kept doing it. I made it all the way back home. So out of 2.7 miles, I ran, roughly 2 miles out of it.
Yep.
And, dude, I come in, I was so pumped. and then I'm like, all right, I got to do something I started feeling, different muscles that I haven't really used.
Everything wakes up.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I got to take a bath, let it kind of soak or whatever. I do that and I get out and I'm like, why the hell I do this shit, Yeah, but my breathing was good. Like that second or that last time, I'm like, I'm actually, I'm figuring out this breathing thing. I wish I had somebody, teach. I'd love to learn how to really breathe.
The breath work is big. So I learned about my breath work. Christine that works for me in the software company, she's a yoga instructor as well. And so she did 2 days a week. We did yoga after my swim. And in yoga, it's a lot about breathing techniques, and we learn that. And listen, man, I would have laughed if somebody if they came and said, "Hey, you're doing yoga or whatever." I'm telling you right now, it was probably one of the top 3 reasons why I was able to complete the trainings and complete the Ironman was due to the yoga and the breath work that I learned, and the stretch and the opening up, and it kept everything in line and not so balled up, but it started to loosen everything up for the trainings. But yeah, dude, when you start to run like that, and let me tell you, so back to swimming and the breath work, that was another thing. So when you put your head underwater, so imagine going for the run, but only being able to breathe at an arrhythmic pace. And when you're down, you're underwater. And so you get this anxiety swim or this panic swim where you want to swim faster because you're running out of oxygen. You think you are. And so carbon dioxide starts to build up. Your brain kind of goes like it panics. And so then you burn more oxygen because you're swimming harder. And this all happens within a matter of seconds. And next thing you know, you're hyperventilating because you can't breathe when you want. And that's one of the biggest issues with swimming. But running and running is a breath work thing. But once you get the pattern and you get everything the heart rate to stabilize and the breath work to go, you could literally run. I feel like you could probably run forever, once you get everything going.
Shit, I'm getting winded just talking about the shit.
Well, it's like, listening to David Goggins, and he talks about that he'd want to keep his heart rate between this certain amount. So it takes breathing. And I'm like, I'm doing this running. I'm looking at my heart rate. I'm like, shit, I'm past what he was at. I'm like, I got to figure this stuff out. But
we watched my heart rate very close through all trainings. I had another guy that worked for me, Trey Huggins. He is about to hit my inhaler.
I ain't the only one. I feel better.
Right? But we watched heart rate. We found where the sweet spot was, and we really tried to stay in we were on the very far edge of what was borderline unhealthy working out because of the length of time that I had to do it in. Most people train for a year to a year and a half. We had condensed it down to about 8 months, and so then it was very it was very strategic. And so we had to monitor those things to keep me healthy as much as possible with minimal setback, because we couldn't afford a setback. So it wasn't that like, I just don't want to get injured. It was like, I can't get injured or I won't be able to do the Ironman.
Yeah. All that training for nothing, you got to keep
on. And that would be awful.
Yeah.
Well, again, because I know Andy's got to leave here. Shortly.
I do real quick want to touch on like off subject about the detail bookie. Like, you want to explain a little bit about detail bookie and how that works?
Yeah, would love to. So it's a scheduling software. You mentioned Mobile Tech RX, and and you also mentioned MTE, which we will be there, by the way. But Mobile Tech RX, I don't know if that's mine. It's a software similar to that. It's a scheduling software. You can build your estimates through it. You can accept payments. Customer communication is key. it is built specifically for the detailing industry. So guys that are just strictly PDR, you're going to get more features that are based like what you need at Mobile Tech RX. But with us, it's the same way with detailing. With us, you're going to get those really special, nuanced things that detailing needs in our software. But it's just like what you guys use every day. It's a scheduling app. We online booking for our customers. We really have taken a different approach to that. I built it to run my business. I did not build it to sell to other detailers. But what happened was it did so good for my business. I made the commitment to take it to market, a year after I built it for mine, and the rest is history. But yeah, I mean, it's a great software for those that are looking to professionalize their business and take their business to the next level with organization and customer communication. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I've seen praises about that all the time because I got a CRM system, and I swear everybody needs something like that to keep you organized, keep your customers up to date, and all that. You got to have something like that.
Well,
I mean, you don't have to, but it helps.
You need to. So if we want to charge professional prices, if we want to be treated as professionals, then we have to look the part, right? And the way that we invoice our customers, the way that we communicate to them, if we give them that feeling of unprofessional or lack of knowledge or whatever, then we leave room for things like negotiating price. We leave room for things like maybe he forgot about this or maybe he didn't do that. But if we sum it up into a nice itemized invoice, this is what it costs. This is how much I charge. This is where you could, this is how you'll know I'll be there. This is my remote surcharge, things like this. Customers don't question that because it's professional and it looks like it's the way you've done it for years and years and years.
Absolutely.
And now all of a sudden you can charge professional prices because you look the part.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what, and I love the estimating software because you always make it the bad guy. Like I always make Mobile Tech RX. I'm like, hey, this is what it is. Like I can help you customer pay. I can help you out a little bit. So here we go. Yeah. So you make the software the bad guy, and it just helps even more.
I don't even do. I just tell them, look, I go by a national pricing structure because I can guarantee my work.
Yep.
I don't pull numbers out of my rear end anymore. I go by this because I can guarantee, because I'm charging for this, I can do it, I can fix it. If I can't fix it, I'm not even giving you an estimate. So
you don't want every job that comes in the door. That's the thing about it. And when you start, you try to take everything and you realize you're always too cheap. You're working for free. Your burnout is always, you're always burned out. It's when you come to that realization that says, hey, I need to structure my pricing. I need to be charging for my service. And it's okay to let a customer walk. Chances are they're going to come back. Chances are they're coming back. But at least now you know that the jobs you're working on, you're making money on. And that's what we try to teach the guys that are coming into our software. I go all around teaching these classes on business. I don't go around selling my software. I go around teaching classes on business for these detailers that really are owner operators. They got into the business because it's low cost. It's pretty easy business to get into, but they don't know how to run a business. And so we educate them in that realm. And then, so by the way, we have the software that'll really help you with all that. So,
well, when you underbid a job too, like you're sitting there working on that job that you underbid, how many times in your mind, like,
you're mad.
This, I need to roll out. Like you're not going to get the same quality on the job.
Exactly. You don't want the same quality.
Price it right. Your head's right. You're gonna do the utmost best part, or best
it's
job you can if you got the price. Yeah, exactly.
That's why you got into business in the first place, is you enjoy it, and so when you suck the fun out of it, then it's terrible. So
right. Yeah. Well, don't do it, Mark. Quit underbidding jobs, and your problem solved.
All right.
Well, that's like
that.
That's like me. It's in the last 2 months. I told Mandy finally, I'm like, when I'll take these, I do a lot of big jobs, but I still have always, to be done the same day,
Oh yeah.
And finally I called Andy. I had one and I was absolutely pissed off. I called him just venting on this job and I had it for 2 days and really needed 3 days. And that's when I finally, after almost 9 years in business, I'm like, you know what? On all of these, it's a 3-day minimum. If I get it done in a day, if I get it done in 2 days, that's fine. But the money's going to be there. 3-day minimum, and and it's been nice. It takes the stress off of you.
Here's the reality. Where else are they going to get it done in that professional setting and know that it's going to be right? So you could take and say, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you what you may not want to hear, that I'm going to need it for longer, or we're going to need it, or it's going to cost this. But you know that when you get it back from me, it's going to be perfect, or it's going to be what you paid for. And you know what? Sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow, but that's just the way it is.
But but the ones that are okay with that, that's your customers.
That's your customer.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I got a firm saying in nacho customers.
Yeah.
It's okay to pass on them jobs. Don't negotiate with people like you're going to be in that position where you hate what you're doing and you don't want to do that.
Absolutely. No question about it. Yeah.
So yeah, I know we need to get going, Andy. We only got
we got 4 minutes. I'm good. I told her I'll be there a little after 7.
But none of y'all really know how busy this guy is, because not just running the business here, he travels all the time, like he said, teaching these classes and that. I mean, even the week of the Ironman, where were you at? SEMA.
Yeah.
Doing detail Bookie, doing that, flying back straight into it, trying to get ready for it, jet lag, everything else, and still completing that.
Chris and me, I was just talking about it.
Yeah, the 2 weeks leading up, I actually traveled to Lexington, Kentucky to speak at an event up there. Then we came back immediately. I want to say I went to Lexington twice. I came back and I went to Lexington, back to Navarre Beach, back to Lexington, then to Vegas. And we stayed at SEMA all the way up till Wednesday night at midnight, where I hopped on a plane, flew to Miami, and landed in Miami at 7 a.m., then to Pensacola, 9 a.m., then to Panama City. So it was, but listen, man, it's like, to get it all done, sometimes you just got to do those things. And what I'm telling you is, it sounds crazy, and you know what, but it's where the progress and the momentum carries you. And when you do these things and you can look back and you can go, hey, I did that. Like, it's such a proud, fulfilling moment, and it makes you feel good. And it moves the needle, for guys that are wanting the progress and want to see the growth of the companies and stuff. You've got to lay it all out there. And when you do, it shows up.
John, he said, great show, guys. Thanks for making me feel lazy. Now, I'm right there with you,
tonight.
Yeah. I tell you what, that when people are asked, if what I'm going to do after the 75 days, or what my biggest, why I'm doing this and stuff. And I say it's the mental game is what it is. Yeah, I do want to be physically fit. I do want to feel better. But it's all a mental game. And I have every morning walking, I'm just, my mind's going 1,000 miles an hour.
Yep.
I'm thinking, I've there's so much that has changed in my life for the better, just on the mental aspect of it. I don't, I get mad pretty quick. It's just in my blood.
Okay,
but I haven't exploded. Like, that's like with my youngest, me and her have always just butted heads, because she's just like me, and she just shuts down and just, but it hadn't been much of that.
Yeah.
In the last, month and a half or so. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it was me. Maybe, I didn't have the patience I should have had. There's just a lot that's different, and I can feel it, and things are better. So it's the mental aspect of it is great. And you have your highs, then you have your times you want to give up, and you're like, I ain't got time for this. Then you have to make the time, and so for anybody that's looking for a change, I recommend the 75 Hard Challenge to kind of get started and direct you. But
absolutely,
anyway,
you have a nice surprise if you haven't looked at what's next after 75. They've kind of done it for you. They thought about your next thing after. So when you get done, you'll see.
I've kind of looked at a little bit of the next thing, and so I told Mandy, she's like, "What you gonna do on day 76?" I said, "I'm going to Krispy Kreme, eat all the damn donuts I can."
Yeah.
And then then we'll go from that. But it's very rewarding and stuff. But
I'm gonna roll, Dustin. Thank you so much for being on, dude. It was a great interview. I could have went another hour easily. You know what I mean?
Oh, me too.
I got a daughter to pick up from play practice, so
Go get your daughter, brother. I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, nice to meet you. And
Yes, sir.
guys,
Nice
if
to meet
y'all
you.
want me back, man, feel free.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Andy, take it easy, buddy. And
All right.
Dustin, man, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
I think highly of you. See you, Andy.
See you.
Think highly of you, and if you ever need anything, I'm always there. I know the same with you.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I look up to you big time, man. I followed your lead. It's like Cops for Kids. I reached out to you when we started, made sure that that what we were doing was with you and following your lead and guidance on these things. I've looked up to you for a long time. I have a ton of respect for you and what you've done for y'all's industry. The respect is mutual for sure.
Yeah, it's like I tell everybody. November 30th. So our toy drive December 3rd. Andy's got one December 3rd. Several other in our industry are all December 3rd. The one the weekend after, so I'm like, that Wednesday, November 30th, we want to do a show. Let's get all of us on here doing toy drives. And like I said, I told them all today, I said, look, it's not about who can outdo the other with these toys. It's about
what's the purpose.
Our industry is just freaking awesome, and we're going to make all these kids happy. They're all going to have a happy Christmas and stuff. So let's get on. Let's talk about all our toy drives. Let's make it a big Christmas show, and we'll do that. And of course, they're all for it. And I'm excited. I'm excited for it. We've done a lot of upgrades at the shop here, and trying to finish up a lot more.
I want to come out and check it out. I saw you pouring some concrete one day out there, getting the asphalt in.
All brand new asphalt, redoing the front. I'm not painting the building yet, not before December 3rd, but hopefully next spring I'll paint the building and stuff. But we are going to have the front of it washed with one of our other business sponsors with the toy drive. But anyway,
if you guys need any help, I always tell you, man, don't hesitate to call. We'll come out there and help you guys do whatever. Love to.
Yeah. Y'all can always show up. We're gonna have a good family day, kind of like your Oktoberfest, but just a great meet and greet family day. But anyway, I appreciate you coming on, brother, and good luck, because I know you're not stopping.
No, I'm changing the name of the group. So if you hadn't added it, my Ironman journey, don't be surprised. I am changing the name of the group. I'm not I don't like. Believe it or not, I'm not like that person that really likes things focused on me.
Yeah.
I just had that platform and it worked out like that. So you'll notice a change in that. I don't know what's next. Maybe there's something that me and you can jump in and do together. Yeah. But I've had a lot of people reach out and want to do some things. I know at my boat show, we're going to put together a little 5K for it's a free friends and family fun walk run just to have, because I've had people want to set their goal for that. So we're doing that. I don't even have time. Show? It's March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd. So in about 5 months.
I'm signing up for it right now then.
Yeah. Awesome. Man, I'd love to have you there and do it. Like I said, it's nothing. It's just a fun thing. You show up, we're going to start at a certain time and we're just going to do it,
Yeah.
I'll have the police escorts and stuff like that, but it's not like a structured thing. It's just we're just going to do a thing,
Yeah.
Now, as people start to, go, it may end up having to be a little bit more. It depends on how many people go, but yeah, man, looking forward to that.
You'll know after this year if it's something that people want there, and I think it'd be great. I think there's another one at the Battleship coming up.
There is.
At some point.
There is.
I don't know exactly when. My cousin, who has done all my workout plans and stuff like that, they're going to do the little 5K, and I don't know yet because I don't remember the date of it.
They're so fun. That's fun. I enjoy that. That shorter distance. I had a buddy of mine I ran into SEMA. He's doing 100-mile run and an ultrathon, and he invited me to go. It's in February in Mississippi with him on that, and I'm like, man, I think I want to enjoy this. That Ironman was tough, man, and not to beat a dead horse, but it was brutal.
I bet, and my hat's off to you on it, because I mean, my mental game right now, I wouldn't be able to do it yet.
But you're on the right track. I mean, I wouldn't it literally took to the day of for me to be in the right mental. don't know that you ever just feel like, okay, I'm ready. Because I don't think even when I got in the water, I was 100% ready. After I finished, then I was ready.
Yeah. And I'm not doing this to push my body to extremes like David Goggins. And you listen to that and you're like, I'm not doing that. To me, that's not fun. I want to do something. I just want to get in shape where I feel healthy. I am healthy. I feel healthy. I can continue it on. Another reason I'm doing it is so instead of me telling my son, you need to work out, now he joins me here and gets more out of it than he does at baseball workouts, and it's a good bonding experience. We enjoy it. So
the mental clarity that you gain, and I can't say it enough, the self-discipline is what it was for me. The decision to not make those bad decisions or the things that we reward ourselves because, I've had a extremely hard day at work. I think I'll come home and drink a few beers, when we know that slows us down. Yeah. Once you flip that switch and you say, hey, I feel better without it. Therefore the reward was in the decision not to. Then once we flip that switch, now everything that you do positive is that little drip of dopamine that you get from the other thing of it. So
yeah. All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna head out too, and again, appreciate you coming on, man. Love you, and
you too, buddy.
If
love you too,
man. We'd love to have you on and anytime, but I just felt this would be the perfect time. And really, there'd be a lot of people that can kind of gain from your story on this. And,
well, I really appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. We'll have to bring you on to ours sometime. And, we'll stay in touch, brother. Holler at me if you need me.
Definitely. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching, and we're going to roll out. So stay tuned. I'm going to back us out of here when it's over, and I'll say goodbye to you. But anyway, peace out, everybody. Thanks again for watching another episode of Ginger Bros Dent Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And for all past episodes, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Podbean. Keep pushing, make that money. See you next week.